making today?
Well, Rich, today I'm going to make smothered pork chops. I have right here
Pork chop.
some 1-inch thick, bone-in pork chops.
Okay, I have a quick question for you.
All
Has
right.
there ever been two words that go together better? Well, I guess that's 3 words.
Remember,
And
he uses
smothered-
God's English.
That's right. Instead of smothered, pork chops.
I could see where pork chop is one word,
Yeah.
you know. So, but here, before I get started, now I need to dry these off a little bit. But they call this a southern dish, right? Well, I'm not from the South. I wasn't born in the South.
You're from Kansas.
I am from Kansas.
It's the South. It wants to be the South.
So, all of my relatives were farmers. Okay? They ate as much, if not more, pork than anybody I've ever seen in my life. And putting gravy on things, you fry them and you put gravy on them, they knew how to do that as good as anybody I've ever seen. So they were all from central Kansas. They actually grew, well, I mean, you know, they had pigs, they had this, they had, you know, so I don't totally agree that this is a southern dish. That's all I'm saying,
I can agree with you on that.
you know. So
I think it's a blue-collar dish.
So having said that, getting my rant out of the way, the first thing I'm going to do is slice these right here a little bit so they don't curl up. These big ones usually don't, but it doesn't hurt to put a little bit of a slice in here so they won't curl up on you. They have like this, what do they call it, sinew or some crap, and that can cause the chops to curl up a little bit, but if you just do this, that won't happen. What I found is interesting about this too is that I used to use Lawry seasoning salt all the time. I really don't anymore, but I found this and it works really, really well. So I have a spice mixture right here that has, it's mainly Lawry seasoning salt, paprika, onion powder, and garlic. And that's what I'm going to liberally season my chops with. So they'll take
They're impressive,
a
actually.
ton of seasoning. I actually got lucky. They don't always have these in the family packs at the grocery store. I went in yesterday and they had some big fat pork chops out there. Like, that's exactly what I was looking for. It was like they knew I was coming.
They said today, will Bruce be coming? What do we need to put out there for
That's
him?
right. What do you need to put out for me?
At your HEB. We can do a commercial for him.
I know. I love that place,
Well, then
man.
I think that'd be the first thing we put on your forehead there, Richard.
That's it, HEB. I think I'm just going to do this as a joke next video. HEB in my head.
Hey, if you do that enough times, they might actually notice, and you know.
Or you do like Cindy did and just put dumbass on it.
Or loser or something.
No, I got drunk and passed out on the couch.
Right, she put dumbass on your
Yeah,
forehead.
but backwards.
But
I could read
backwards,
it in the mirror.
Yeah. Oh no, I remember that.
I love my wife.
That was awesome. All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna save some of this for later. Right now, I also have a dredge. So we do more than one of these videos a day, and Richard was supposed to save some of his stuff that he cooked without any pasta in it for his wife.
I guess I don't love my wife.
But he did not do that. So, I really like rice flour. To me, I mean, it works just as well as regular AP flour. So, today, I am going to use rice flour to make all of this. So I have a half cup of rice flour.
I talked him into it, honey, I swear.
I have a half cup of rice flour, and I put 4 teaspoons of my spice mix into the rice powder. The rice flour. And
now you're talking like me.
I know, right? That's scary. And we dredge the chops in some flour.
But anytime you have flour in the drippings, it's better.
Well, that's
First
true.
step for gravy.
Yes.
Mhm.
Which
is better.
with these chops, gravy is a must. All right. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start browning up these chops. Get some nice color on them. Looks like I can do them 3 at a time, which is awesome since I have 6.
There we go. There we go.
I can, I'll brown these up. And it's going to take a few minutes, as you can see. Because, I mean, they're really thick, so it's going to take a few minutes for them to brown up real good. While we're browning up the chops, we're going to add some onions, so I'm just going to prep these onions. So I cut them into quarters, and then I'm going to slice them fairly thin. So, you know, you have the strips of them, but they're not really long like if you only cut them in half. I think it works better this way. I'm going to take these 3 out.
Okay. We have a flood advisory about to hit us.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I heard the thunder just now.
So you want to go as long as you can here, and then we might have to move inside.
That sounds good. I mean,
I'm gonna go throw rice on real quick.
all right, we may not have to do that. All right, I'm going to take these.
Just in case.
I'm going to take these 3 off and put the other 3 on and get those all browned. And then we'll be ready to make some gravy.
Beep, 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 beep. News alert.
What the fuck was that?
Bad weather alert.
Yeah. I am actually getting rained on a little bit, but I don't care because I'm outside cooking. So, we got all these browned up. Now, I don't want to get carried away on how much oil I use here, so I'm going to actually measure it. Make sure I don't. It can make your gravy a little bit oily, and nobody likes that. I need a 1/4 cup of oil, and I have a bit more than that.
Pretty good.
All right.
See, he's a trooper, ladies and gentlemen. Last
So-
flood warning going on, and he's still out here cooking.
1/4 cup of oil, 1/4 cup of flour, and the rest of my spice mixture. All going in. Boys and girls, we are making some gravy.
That's a really tasty looking pool.
Not a pool, Rich.
That pool is scrumptious looking.
You see this? It's a skillet.
Your mama's a skillet.
And in this skillet. Oh, now with the mom joke.
Mom joke.
I need to cook this for about a minute or so, a couple of minutes. It cooks the floury taste out of things. I honestly don't know what's going to happen with the rice flour. I'm really interested. As far as that goes, I don't know if you have to cook the rice flour taste out of it, I mean, but
Yeah, I think should be about the same.
I think it's about the same. All right.
It just might not take it up as much as
Now,
the other stuff.
I have these 2 large onions, which you guys saw me cut earlier, and it's strange, but I've made this before. I'm doing this backwards. You know, you would actually think you would want to put the oil in and saute the onions, and then put the flour and everything in, but for whatever reason, this works. So after the first time I tried this and did it like this, and it worked really well, I'm just gonna stick with it. Because I love smothered pork chops. This is absolutely not the first time I've made this. It will absolutely not be the last. I took myself lunch for the week, and on Saturday or Sunday, I'll make big, huge pots of whatever, and then I'll freeze it. And I mean, I'll make basically it's kind of like a TV dinner, right? Except you're doing it for the microwave. And so I'll find things that work really well that you could freeze, and then you can just reheat in the microwave, and I can take it for my lunch. And I try to do this almost every week, and then I'll have, you know, 4 or 5 different things in the freezer that I can choose from, so I don't have to eat the same thing every day. Now, I don't mind eating the same thing every day, especially when it's big fat pork chops. But, you know, so
But
back-
doesn't that make you a cannibal?
what?
Eating big fat pork chops? I'm asking for a friend.
What the hell does that mean? That's it. That's all I got. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
That means I won.
Bastard. So I'm gonna, after that
Yeah, that's,
spectacle,
that's staying in.
I am going to cook these onions down until they soften up. So it always cracks me up when I first started doing this, and this recipe I found, it says to cook them till they're soft, 2-3 minutes.
Bullshit.
Right.
This is 2 big onions.
Yeah, you see all these onions in here? Yeah, 2-3 minutes. You betcha. So we are going to cook them till they're soft. Okay. It is going to take more than 2 or 3 minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're still in the rain. I have my onions sweated down. So I got 3 cups of water.
3 cups and a couple of droplets.
Well, okay, it's going to be a little bit more than 3 cups because of the lovely rain. And we're going to bring this to a boil. And let it thicken and get us some gravy going. And as soon as we do that, we will be ready to put everything together and put this in the oven. We're on?
We're on.
Alright, so the gravy looks a little pale, and well, the reason why is it was raining and I didn't brown the flour long enough, or as long as I could have, to darken up the gravy. It's not gonna do anything to the flavor. It's just, that's why it's a little bit lighter, because I didn't brown the flour. Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna put down about half of this in the bottom of the pan. About half of this goes in the bottom of the pan. Then we're gonna put the chops.
Those.
These big, gorgeous, beautiful chops. are going in the pan. And I'm gonna probably have to shingle them a little bit, yeah, because I have very large chops, which is just not a bad thing. We shingle those in, and then the rest of the gravy, which is a beautiful thing. Oh, oh, oh. We get everybody covered up. We're going to put this, seal this up very tightly with aluminum foil. And now we go into a 350-degree oven for an hour and a half. So, we are making the smothered pork chops today. And so I did some research about that, and a nice fat stout really actually goes well with this. It doesn't overpower the pork chops because, I mean, come on, you have the onions, the gravy, you know, the fall apart pork, it's just all heavenly. So why not have a nice Guinness draft to go with it?
And that's what I always say.
Well, since our original video of George introducing himself disappeared, why don't you introduce yourself real quick, George?
Hey, what do you want me to say?
So people say, why the hell is that guy here?
Well, I came on board because...
So keep it short.
Yeah, really short. I thought I could help these guys out a little bit with the camera work, you know, so that they can concentrate on the food, just cooking the damn food.
That's right.
And so, yeah, I mean, I think that would help with the production value. Not that I'm an expert, but at least someone manning the behind the scenes, throw in a few extra little comments every so often, and you know, we get the work done. And
So-
I think they're getting the work done.
And he gets free beer.
Hey,
Yeah. So you're a big fan. I mean, you.
I am a huge fan of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would be curious for you to explain why.
It's the aftertaste among everything else.
Really?
Yeah, it is. For me,
Oh God.
no
that's
matter
good.
what I have,
I have not had one of these in a long time.
the aftertaste, I mean, the darkness
And it's dry.
stays with you. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's dry like a wine is.
Yeah. But I mean,
And it does stay with you. Yeah.
Right.
This is.
but you've got to get the capsulated because it's smoother with the capsulated.
They describe it as creamy.
Yeah.
On the
It's smooth and creamy.
smooth and creamy.
Yeah.
And I agree. I hadn't had the encapsulated. The draft, you have to get that because it really enhances everything.
Now, you know, I've been on record before saying I don't like this. Now, I have been drinking more things like this, so maybe I'm going to enjoy this. I know I always like the black and tan. I like doing the black and tan.
Oh man, yeah.
So,
But,
anyway.
hey, I also enjoy a good Boddington's. I'm saying Guinness and right up there with the dark flavorful beers, the ones that have a little bit more of a coffee note, a chocolate note to them.
Yeah, still not a fan.
No,
He's not a fan.
But I will drink the whole thing.
it's interesting because I mean, you and I have different opinions about some of the different beers. There's things that you got that I'm not a fan of. So.
Yeah.
But
There's plenty of things I thought I wasn't a fan of.
well, true that.
That's the fun of this. We get to try new beers.
Whatever the hell that shit was that we had. Yeah, anyway, this I really enjoy. I like the dark malt that's in it. And the dryness.
It's not the worst beer. It's not like I can't drink it. I can easily drink a 6-pack if I had it and I wasn't drinking anything else.
But it's like,
But
so I really like dry wine, and so to get that in a beer, which you don't really ever get, it's just makes it for me. That's really what makes it over the top. It's just
this is actually there. It is. That's the dry wine kind of
Yeah.
thing in the back of the throat that,
Where the top
that I'm getting
yeah,
out of it.
the-
And I'm not a fan of dry wine.
Right, and see, I am, so it's.
No, I actually never heard it described that way before, but it makes sense. That's what it is. But actually, the more I drink this, it's getting better.
Well,
I'm confused, people. I don't
2 out of 3 alcoholics. No. 2 out of 3 alcoholics say this is good beer. So this has been in for about 2 hours, which surely does not hurt. We have some rice.
This is called 3-hour rice.
So we are putting some rice down. And we have a chop that we're putting down. Look, oh man. I don't even know that we need anything more, but let's put a
Oh,
little.
you gotta get that on there.
Let's put a little bit more onion on there. Oh my god.
Wow.
Alright. And this is screaming hot, ladies and gentlemen. So, we're gonna have a little bite. And all I have is this fork.
My loud family showed up.
And all I needed was that fork, if you saw that. So, look at that. Alright, it is screaming hot.
Here we go.
So, I'm trying to not do my gopher dance.
Do it. I was about to say, do the gopher dance. Do the- Wow.
It is so tender. I mean, you know, you don't need anything but this fork. It is, oh god.
Yeah, that's cutting through really quick.
And
Pour that gravy on that rice.
the onion,
Oh.
the onion, and you get the seasoning from the Lawry seasoning salt, right? It works so good with the pork. It's quite amazing. I was surprised when I saw it. Well, we have more gravy.
Gravy run on.
And this is just incredible. The Lawry seasoning salt, for whatever reason, works really, really well with this, and mixes with the onions and everything, and it is so tender. One of the better things I've ever made. Ever. And now I'm going to take this plate and go elsewhere with it. And everybody, you need to actually try this. It is so good.